Hello everybody, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. I'm bringing you today the Tarot Disassembled. And sorry, I'm not using my other camera. It's misbehaving. But hopefully you can get enough focus from this camera to see everything you need to see. This deck is by Jennifer Cooper Steidley. And comes in your choice of a yellow box or a black box, and I chose the yellow box. The cards themselves have a black backing. These are the backs of the cards, and it's compared to a standard tarot deck. Seems to be the same size. Now, maybe I should backtrack a little bit. When learning the Rider Waite Smith system, I found this book particularly informative. It dissects, The Ultimate Guide to the Rider Waite Tarot by Johannes Fiebig and Evelyn Berger. It dissects the cards by their symbols. So on one page you have the card and some descriptions, interpretations, and on the other page you have zoomed in areas of the card and the symbols are sort of dissected and described, which is really helpful, I think, since tarot is a book of symbols. And this is one of the reasons that I got this deck, because this also dissects or disassembles the cards to their symbols. It takes the main character and activity out of the cards and leaves behind just the symbols. When you buy this deck, it comes with a free downloadable PDF version of a guide booklet, but you can also buy a separate guide booklet, soft cover, and I recommend this because while the PDF is great, it's not as easy to maneuver on like a Kindle or an ebook reader, because in the front part of the book, there's a kind of a glossary of common symbols, and in the back of the book, it's the cards and their symbols. So there are a lot of keywords, but for instance, the glossary of common symbols, the first one alphabetically listed is angel. So all the cards that have angels in them, it lists the cards right under that, and then it gives the symbolic meanings of an angel appearing in an image. And then if you go to the back, actually the first card listed there is the Lovers. So if you go to the back, you find the Lovers card, and there it will give you, let's see, where are the majors? Sorry, just a second while I dig it up. Okay, under the Lovers, it gives you keywords, astrological associations, planetary associations, elemental associations, and symbols. And then there are symbols on the cards, and well, I won't go into all the symbols, but anyway, what I'm trying to say in a very clumsy, awkward way is that on an ebook, it's really hard to, you have to keep scrolling forward and backward to the two sections of the booklet, whereas if you have a booklet in front of you, you can bookmark it and look in the front and then quickly look at the back and do your comparisons. So I got this book, this deck, more or less as a supplementary learning tool for the RWS. I'm fairly familiar with it now and read pretty well with it, but this just adds depth to maybe some of the symbols that I've overlooked or don't know as much about. So I think that's really useful. Now, the box is a little magnetic box, which are always quite nice. And the cards themselves are, it's kind of a thick deck. The cardstock is very thick, and it has a kind of a, not plastic exactly, almost kind of a rubbery feel to it. Sort of like powdered rubber or something. They remind me of actually play tiles in like preschool or something like that. They make puzzles out of these things. It's not as squishy as or spongy as those tiles, but it has that kind of texture to it, sort of like I haven't tested these out, but it looks like if they got wet you could wipe them down and they wouldn't be damaged. That's the feel it has anyway. So anyway, I think I said that you could get the box in yellow or black. The cards only come with the black backing, and this is the coloring of the box if you get the black version. I'm sort of muddling through this, I know, but what I thought I would do is show you these cards side by side with the RWS, so you can get an example here of the symbols in this card, and they are extracted into this card. And so that may prove helpful when studying these decks. And the colors in this deck are really pop. They're bright, cheery colors. The images are very clear and pop. I probably won't say too much more about this, but let's see if I can walk through it fairly quickly, and feel free to pause the playback at any time or slow it down so you can see them better. The cards do not glide very well. They tend to clump a bit because of the texture of the cards. I expect they probably would riffle shuffle fairly well, but as I do overhand shuffling, they don't do as well at that. And also it's a little bit hard to single out a card and lift it off the top of the deck. They tend to want to stick or clump a little bit. So I've had to kind of bevel the deck so I can grab the edge for you. The colors and images are sharp and bright and cheery in a way. Even the dark cards kind of are well defined and pop fairly readily. Now, if you're pausing your playback, you can look and see where all the symbols are on the traditional deck. And I wouldn't say that this is a deck for beginners, because you kind of need to, not just the symbols, you kind of need to see what action is going on in the deck and what the characters are doing, how they're interacting, what directions they happen to be facing. I think those things are all useful in doing readings, which we don't have in the disassembled deck because it's all about the symbols. I don't know if my microphone's picking it up, but I've got a mourning dove sobbing away on my fire escape on the window next to me. In case you're wondering what that mournful sound is. Also, I'm trying to get over a week-long head cold, so my voice isn't as clear as usual. I believe if you're interested in this deck, you can find it at her website, which is ferociousinc.com. I hope this is clear enough to help you. I had previously done a walkthrough using my iPhone, which tends to have one of two problems. It either cuts off my recording before I'm ready to end the video, or it's out of focus, and sometimes the image on the screen sort of jumps around corner to corner in this rectangular spiraling action. I don't know what's causing those things. I'll probably visit the Genius Bar at the Apple Store and see if they can figure that out for me so that I can do sharper videos for you. I wonder whether this deck would be more helpful if all the symbols had a fine black outline around them. I'm not sure. Sometimes, even though the contrast is pretty good, it's a little more difficult to make out the symbol next to whatever color it happens to be beside. But again, I don't know that I'm likely to read with the Disassembled Tarot so much as use it as a study deck that I can refer to from time to time. In fact, I almost wonder if I might have been just as well off to buy the guidebook and not the tarot, because the guidebook does have all the images in it, although they are in black and white. So that might be a problem. Anyway, there you have it. It's the Tarot Disassembled, again by Jennifer Cooper Steidley, and at ferociousinc.com. Thanks for your patience, and I hope that was in some way helpful, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.